strides up. Silas, I'll take that, thank you.
I'm just getting out of him.
Looting already, are we? Yeah, he says, thank you. Thank you, Morgan.
Morgan, I don't call thank you human, do I?
Well, you definitely could. That happens a lot, actually.
Do they are?
Everyone calls each other by that. Because otherwise
very
Blizzard
true.
have to like voice act your character's name.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
And that's not going to work ever.
actually, I'm pretty sure when it's even when it's a race, they don't like there aren't individual voice lines for that shit. You just get called champion.
Champion.
That's true.
Thank you, Jack.
Hero.
Pulls free the sword. Actually, it's pretty stuck in there. I'll give him a strength check. A hench check. Okay, he pulls it free.
Nice.
And we exit. Oh fuck! I made a terrible mistake.
Chris, now out of comment, I will go examine the body more closely.
So I'll.
If you bring it up, it should all be there still, unless you cleared it first.
What I made was a terrible mistake. Was I had music ready all this time for Northshire Valley instead of Elwyn Forest, but I never stopped the Elwyn Forest music.
Oh man,
It's not okay.
not okay. So I'll start like wiping the blood of the rapier until I realize I only hit like 4 walkers with it, and I'll hold it. I'll hold the handle out to you, Sharon.
I just put my dagger back, I'll accept it.
This guy didn't have anything, did he? He was a prisoner, right?
Oh yeah, I remember why. Because there's no Northshire Valley. There's Northshire Abbey music, but it's not very suitable for this
Is
combat.
Yeah,
This
I'll
guy doesn't have anything, does he? Like,
wander over.
Okay, so now you give him a proper search over. I mean, no, he was wearing just like tattered robes, torn like Goku'd at the waist, so like they're just kind of hanging around him. He's bare
It's a good
chested.
look. It's a good look.
But tucked into the waistband, you find a flower.
What kind of flower?
Interesting flower. It glows with green energy. And it seems resilient because I mean he's been tucked into this smelly orc's waistband, and the petals are all intact, and the stalk isn't sort of bent or anything, or stem rather. And it's unlike any flower you've ever seen.
Don't even get to do a knowledge check.
You can do me an Arcana check.
Damn it, Chris! I've never done herbalism on.
Everyone can gather around.
No, I've taken the flower.
Okay, he takes the flower.
Well, yeah, but like we see the flower.
I put it in my pocket. Hey, what are you doing? Hey guys, how you doing?
Well, you actually got a natural 20, Josh.
I did indeed!
God, how on earth would you fucking know?
I don't know,
what
man.
this is? Okay, it's going to be very specific because there's like in your training as a priestess.
Yes.
Yes, in your training as a priestess. At one point, for whatever reason, because you were interested in the works of the prophet Velen, the leader of the Draenei people.
Okay.
How familiar are you with Warcraft lore, Josh?
Me, myself?
Yes.
Not much.
Not
I've
much,
seen the
okay.
Warcraft movie, and I played Warcraft 1, 2, and 3.
So the orcs and the Draenei are not originally from Azeroth, as you see in the Warcraft movie. The orcs come from Outland, and so do most recently the Draenei. They came to Azeroth from Outland in the Burning Crusade era, but the Draenei themselves were not originally from Outland. Many moons ago, like years and years ago, the Draenei lived on a planet called Argus. Lived on a planet called Argus, and they were ruled by a council of 3 called the Triumvirate. And this council of 3 were Velen himself, Kil'jaeden, and Archimonde, the 3 leaders of the Draenei people. And then Sargeras came to Argus, the evil leader of the Burning Legion, and offered them power to be evil, basically, the classic fantasy thing. And 2 of the leaders fell to corruption and became lords of the Burning Legion, Archimonde and Kil'jaeden. And Velen fled with his posse of Draenei, and they became the Draenei, and the evil Draenei became the Eredar, and fled to Outland, where they were eventually found by the Burning Legion, and the orcs were turned against them, and they fled to Azeroth. So they'd basically been on the run through space, having a spaceship for a while.
Right.
in a book written by Velen, who was a great priest and a prophet and thousands of years old, and you've read this shit.
7-7.
You 7-7. He just because you were reading things written by Velen, you came across a book of flowers, and it was a book of the native wildlife to Argus that he'd written to kind of chronicle this stuff, because since leaving, Argus has become the homeworld of the Burning Legion.
Right.
And this flower looks vaguely but not identical to one of the flowers in that book. Like, it looks like a corrupted version of a flower from that book.
Okay.
See
That's quite the asshole.
Right.
See
Yeah. Exactly.
how far we had to go, but it was a natural 20, so...
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. So I
one
just
might draw the conclusion that this is a flower from modern-day Burning Legion-infested
it's
Argus.
been probably somehow infected or
Yes, it's
corrupted by
actually...
fell
The
magic.
flower in the book was called Astral Lotus.
Astral
And
Lotus.
yes, I did go to the Vindicar and look at the vendor Taco and see what the fucking herb was called that
Nice.
you get from Argus. So in the book, it was called Astral Lotus.
And this kind of
Because-
taken back because again, like A,
Yeah.
that I remembered it, but B, that it's like seeing this should be not possible. Like,
Yeah,
is
it's
that basically
no one's been to Argus in millennia.
Right.
You know, like I mean, it's a demon world now, and
so I mean I'm gonna have
it's like
to
the
say
demon
the thing
home world. So
that Night Elf priestesses say, which is by the light of a moon.
what is this? Like, I mean, it's it's very surprising to find that this.
Oh
world
yeah,
would
like
have, would have this
as
flower
much
of Argus.
emotion as you see on Night Elves, it's all there.
It was,
You're full of Botox.
so the layman would have understood
Basically,
nothing, but to
yeah.
me, those facial twitches were.
Yeah,
sobbing.
exactly. Talia's like, holy shit, she's freaked out.
What revelation has come upon you?
That's an Astral Lotus.
Yeah, nothing.
Right. All right.
No,
Sorry.
no.
Yeah, no, nothing.
And I kind of explained basically what this means. A shortened version.
I love it. So
This-
you happen to read a herbalism book by Velen, and so
Oh my god, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's one of the old leaders of the.
okay, you guys are having this conversation. Marshall McBride's over here.
It's in my
like,
pocket. It's in my
Good
pocket.
job, man.
Fuck you.
Gather up, Private Doug. You did well.
I kind of look at you skeptically, Shalon, and say, not without your knowledge, but how certain are you of this?
I'm gonna walk up to her.
Very certain.
I like you knowing this conversation. I'm gonna go to Marshall.
But god damn it, Silas.
You don't know my name. What do you
I
mean,
know.
Sile?
Dogman, get over here. Bring the
Alright,
flower.
yeah, I'm just nodding, thinking, I'm gonna inspect the damage that's been done to the tunnel real quick.
Mhm.
Okay, it's you don't know how deep the cave in goes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can see on the map, but you don't actually know how deep.
It's like 10 feet.
The first 5 feet of rocks have been dug out, and they're kind of lying strewn around where you're standing.
Halfway
now.
there. It's a pity.
Yeah, I feel like this cave-in could have been a little more intensive.
I'll make it a bit bigger.
You do that. Alright, well,
I fucking hate you, Ian.
I put it.
I know.
I put an ear to the rocks.
Give me a perception check.
Drums in the deep.
A Balrog of Morgoth.
You hear nothing.
Okay.
Not even some cute little moles.
And I turn around to Shalana and say, there seems to be no orc army waiting on the other side. And go to the marshal.
No,
And I probably just like I'm perplexed by how he would have come across this flower.
Perhaps we should get this to someone more knowledgeable, or...
Silas just already run off with the flower.
I know.
So Marshal McBride turns to Silas, and then kind of in extension to Shalana and Talia, and says,
Yeah, I guess I'll...
I thank you for your aid. It was most certainly invaluable. We would not have been able to stop this demonic encroachment without your help.
I did my
We shall-
non-existent help.
We must return to the Abbey and seek medical attention for Private Doug. Nevertheless,
Wait.
we owe you much.
You know, it's just unconscious, right?
Medical attention.
Still,
He's
Yeah,
stable,
unconscious
but
is not a
needs-
good
needs
state
medical
of being.
attention.
No, I'm talking about the orc. Like to make sure they know that they got to like.
Oh, right.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
You see,
He didn't went over the bond and all. I know it's
Okay.
tied him
like,
up or anything.
okay.
And then it's like,
Yeah.
oh, we'll just head
He's
back
like,
now. It's like, no,
You
get
didn't.
the orc first.
You didn't kill him.
I thought you might want to undergo some questioning.
That was far more thoughtful than the average adventurer I deal with at Northshire Abbey.
I did it with my head. I see.
Use my head.
Double meaning. Nice.
I hate it.
How do you have you used your inspiration yet?
No, but I can have double quiz.
No, there's no. You pick someone else to have inspiration in.
Alright.
I got an at 20. Come on.
Okay, yeah. You can.
No.
Sorry, Jacko. You asked first.
Marshall
Yeah.
McBride says, Private Elm, take Private Goom, and
I started laughing.
Fucking
So you're like, fucking humans. Fucking humans.
Private Goom and secure the orc for travel. So Private Elm and Private Goom go over and get their adventuring rope out and begin.
Yeah.
60 feet long, obviously.
Okay, now like he did mention a war.
Yeah, but-
so it's like,
Yes, he says we could. He turns back to you and says, "I owe you even more thanks now. This is a great victory. I could not have done this without you. I have little on me to give now, but he kind of looks around as if thinking, and he draws his great sword and slaps it into the ground in front and says, "Perhaps one of you will find use for this."
Alright, there you go, Jacko. No inspiration, but you get a magical great sword. So you better not complain. You know
I was-
do you, George?
I am a protection warrior.
Right?
So great sword.
Well, alright.
No, I'm not a dex warrior. I'm a protection warrior, so I use a shield. But I mean, I have use for it. No. I'll we
feels like, we could do better.
No. Like, I would definitely accept this.
No. It's mine. It's mine.
He says, swing by. Oh, he says, he wouldn't say swing by. He said, you will be welcome guests at Northshire Abbey any time, but for now we must return the prisoner, send her under Stormwind, and seek medical attention for Private Doug, and also remove these NPCs from the equation so that I don't have to roleplay them anymore. I took the stump. Oops. And they marched off quickly, faster than you guys can travel.
Fuck.
Okay, yes, okay, go on.
I don't want to ask one thing, which is, again, a fine gift, thank you. But then, most importantly, I was going to say,
I'll surround you.
when he wakes up, can we come to the Abbey and ask him some questions when he awakes?
He says, this afternoon I will send word and have him securely transported to Stormwind, but I have some swing amongst the guards there. He will be kept at the stockades, and you will be admitted to talk to him at any time. It is the least I can ensure happens. It should take no more than 3 or 4 days to have him there.
Yeah.
So yeah, when he kind of wanders off and great swords of lie together, kind of turn you to like, if you want this.
I mean, I can most definitely appreciate the craftsmanship. It will sell for a great deal, and I currently have no real weapon of my own. So I could make use of it. I kind of look at the other two.
Not something I could wield.
Yeah, it's not very my style. Too loud.
I look at the man who is a god.
Oh, it's like too loud. It's not like it's a gun or something.
It's like a cannon every time you swing it.
I'm gonna get guns level feature.
You swing it and it goes, ah! It's just makes a shouting noise every time.
It's clunky. You try
It's
sneaking
too,
out.
too clunky, but too
Clunky.
loud.
Alright, so I'll add the Crateman swords. Plus one.
I'll open up my waistcoat. Look
It's a
at my
+1
watch.
greatsword, Jacko.
Are there watches in this world, Chris?
They're like pocket watches, I think.
Yeah, okay. I'll look at my pocket watch. Like, but
Especially-
I wasn't joking
especially
when I
being
said I really
good
have somewhere to be.
Yeah, especially for Worgen, you can absolutely have a pocket watch.
Excellent. So yeah, I'm like, but I wasn't joking when I said I really needed to be somewhere soon. And I kind of like,
Where would you possibly need to be?
Look, these cheeses.
I gotta get back to Stormwind.
Alright. I am sure you have pressing matters to attend to, but Shalan. Oh wait, I don't know your name yet, do I?
Shalan.
Wait, do I know your name at this point? Yeah, okay.
I'm sure
I
we
think
would have at
Silas
least
might
thought.
not
Yeah,
have
sure,
told
sure,
you his
sure,
name,
sure.
because Silas is also
But Shalan seemed
always
especially
approved.
interested in that special little flower you picked up.
Yes, indeed. If you must part ways, I
I
humbly
wonder
request
if the
that I take
Cathedral
flower.
of Light in
Look,
Stormwood.
I will figure out what it is. I assure you.
I know what it is.
I
And
will
I know
figure
it's
out what
valuable.
it means. I assure you.
No
Then come with
offense,
us.
Furball, but we are of the Calderai. You are a cheese vendor.
Jack, I run out. Jack, Chris, I run back to this. I went to Stormwind.
Wow.
Just runs off.
I mean, how much damage did he take from that burn, though?
I kind of raise an eyebrow at Shalan and say, "Did I offend him?"
Yeah, okay, so Silas, you just run off to Stormwood?
Oh no, I'll run back to Goldshire.
To Goldshire?
Wait,
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have to go to
Mr.
Stormwood.
Morgan,
I need to get my card.
leave the flower.
He's gone.
Oh,
He's
God.
faster than you guys.
Hmm.
He just runs off on you.
Ah!
But
Okay.
you know he's going to Stormwind, or at least you know he's told you he'll eventually be in Stormwind.
Yeah, but one day.
I guess for the purposes of party cohesion, you two better decide to hunt the doggy down because the flower's
Yeah.
important. Otherwise, the campaign ends.
I
Oh
know.
fuck. Oh, I throw away the flower. Second, I'm like 5 miles down, Chris. Nah.
Just out of spite.
I eat it. I smell it. You
Uh,
Yeah. So no, I would definitely be like, no, we must follow him.
I kind of look at Shalan like hesitantly, like, I believe you when you say this flower might be of importance, but I personally have no stake in this.
The
but-
ramifications of what this could mean.
Yes, I am willing to offer you a proposal, however. I
Okay.
recently have come into some monetary problems. If
And I like immediately look to the great sword that he's now fucking carrying.
yes, this will certainly help if we are not encountering more orcs on the roads.
Help! How in debt are you?
Exactly. I said, how great is this debt?
Well, it is a long story, but it would have to buy me back passage to Darnassus, and it would have to repay some services.
Could possibly. How would you have come into this?
Look,
great of
they were
debt?
great man-whores, okay?
Listen, this sword might well cover for the costs, but you can never be too certain. And to be honest, I am quite interested in the mystery of this flower. So I am offering you a proposal.
Which
For
is what?
I offer you my services as a guard, as a accomplice, and I will aid you if you so need. And for this service, I will require a small monetary pay, perhaps pay per day.
And I look to the sword
per
and say,
hour. Per hour.
Yeah, I
Per
I
minute.
look to the sword and say, "You come with us. The sword is yours." And it's
I kind of like, how are you gonna stop me? No, okay. No, okay, yeah.
The sword is your first 5 weeks up front, at least.
I think about it for like a second,
that
and then
magic sword would probably pay for
yeah,
your.
I might have like tried to understand it a little bit. Yeah, that's true. I kind of think for a bit and say, perhaps you are right. All right, I'll accept for now. And point to the road, and then shall we?
Indeed. Chase.
Chase down that mangy mutt.
Exactly.
Okay.
That was on her
You're
mind.
nothing
She's-
but a hound
so
dog.
she didn't say it that way.
And so ends second session.
God,
Woo!
stupid dog.